The Greater Kudu, also known by its scientific name Tragelaphus strepsiceros, is truly a striking and majestic species of antelope. It's native to the wooded savannas and semi-arid regions of eastern and southern Africa. So, in this overview, I'll be sharing some details about the Greater Kudu, including its biology, habitat, behavior, and even its conservation status. Now, let's talk about the physical characteristics that make the Greater Kudu such a remarkable and easily recognizable antelope species. These animals are not only known for their striking appearance, but also for their impressive size and unique features that set them apart from other antelopes found across the African continent. When it comes to size, adult male Greater Kudus are truly imposing creatures. They typically stand about 4 to 5.5 feet tall at the shoulder, which is roughly the height of an average adult human. In terms of weight, these males can tip the scales anywhere between 400 to 600 pounds, making them one of the largest antelope species in Africa. Their long, muscular legs and deep chests give them a powerful and athletic build, allowing them to move gracefully through dense woodlands and open savannas alike. The male's size not only helps them compete for mates, but also provides some protection from predators. Females, on the other hand, are noticeably smaller and more slender than their male counterparts. They usually stand around 3 to 4 feet tall at the shoulder and weigh between 200 to 400 pounds. This difference in size is known as sexual dimorphism, a common trait in many antelope species. The smaller size of the females allows them to move more easily through thick brush and dense vegetation, which is especially useful when they are caring for their young or trying to avoid predators. In a herd, you can often spot the females by their more delicate build and slightly lighter coloration. One of the most impressive and iconic features of the male Greater Kudu is their spectacular set of horns. These horns are long, spiraled, and can reach up to 4 feet in length, making them some of the most striking horns in the animal kingdom. Each horn typically has about 2.5 elegant twists, creating a beautiful corkscrew shape that is instantly recognizable. The horns are not just for show. They play a crucial role during the mating season, when males use them in dramatic displays and sometimes even in physical contests to establish dominance and win the right to mate. The horns also serve as a visual signal of maturity and health, with older, more dominant males often sporting the longest and most impressive spirals. Females, on the other hand, do not have horns at all. This absence of horns is another clear way to distinguish them from the males. The lack of horns makes the females lighter and more agile, which is advantageous for escaping predators and moving quickly through their environment. Instead of relying on horns for defense, female Greater Kudus depend on their keen senses, speed, and ability to blend into their surroundings. This difference in horn development between males and females is a fascinating example of how each sex has evolved to meet the unique challenges of their environment. Overall, the combination of size, build, and those magnificent horns make the Greater Kudu a truly extraordinary animal to observe in the wild. As for coloration, males are a slate gray to brown with white stripes and markings, while females are typically more of a reddish brown. Both males and females have these really distinctive white facial markings and large ears. Now, in terms of habitat, Greater Kudus are found in several countries across eastern and southern Africa, including Botswana, Zimbabwe, Namibia, South Africa, and even parts of East Africa like Kenya and Tanzania. When it comes to their preferred environment, Greater Kudus like hilly or mountainous terrain with dense thorny bushes and woodlands. Since they are browsers rather than grazers, they mostly feed on leaves, branches, and fruit. In terms of behavior, Greater Kudus are generally solitary or found in small groups. Males usually keep to themselves or might be seen in pairs, while females tend to form small herds with their young. Kudus are fascinating herbivorous animals, perfectly adapted to thrive in the diverse landscapes of Africa. These majestic antelopes are most commonly found in woodlands, savannas, and areas with dense bush, where food sources are abundant but often hidden from plain sight. Their diet is primarily made up of plant material, but what truly sets them apart is their ability to be selective feeders, choosing the most nutritious and tender parts of plants. Kudus mainly browse on leaves and shoots from trees and shrubs, using their long necks and agile tongues to reach foliage that many other animals can't access. This gives them a unique advantage, especially during the dry season when grass is scarce, and only the higher branches hold any greenery. They are known to feed on a wide variety of plant species, including acacias, wild figs, and bush willows. Kudus will even eat fruits, pods, and flowers when available, making their diet quite diverse and adaptable to changing seasons. Their ability to switch between different types of vegetation means they can survive in areas where food availability changes throughout the year. This flexibility is crucial for their survival, as it allows them to find nourishment even when conditions are tough. Kudus tend to prefer foliage that is rich in essential nutrients, such as protein and minerals, which help them maintain their strength and health. They are especially drawn to young green leaves, which are softer and easier to digest. Water is also important for kudus, but they can go for long periods without drinking by obtaining moisture from the plants they eat, especially during the dry season. Early mornings and late afternoons are their preferred feeding times, when the vegetation is moist and temperatures are cooler. Now, when it comes to survival, kudus have developed remarkable adaptations to avoid predators and thrive in their environment. Their tall, slender bodies and long legs allow them to move swiftly and quietly through thick bush, making it easier to escape danger. One of their most effective defenses is their unique coloration. The vertical white stripes along their brownish-gray bodies help them blend seamlessly into the dappled light of the woodland, acting as natural camouflage. Their large, sensitive ears can pick up the faintest sounds, alerting them to the presence of predators like lions, leopards, and wild dogs. In addition, the placement of their eyes on the sides of their heads gives them a wide field of vision. This allows them to keep a lookout for threats from almost any direction, increasing their chances of spotting danger before it gets too close. By constantly scanning their surroundings and relying on their keen senses, kudus are able to detect predators early and make a quick escape if needed. All these adaptations, from their specialized diet to their incredible camouflage and alertness, help kudus survive and thrive in the wild African landscape. When it comes to reproduction, kudus can mate at any time of the year, but sometimes you'll see peaks during certain seasons, depending on the environment. The gestation period lasts about 7 to 8 months, and usually, a single calf is born. For their own safety, these calves are hidden in dense vegetation during the first few weeks of life. Female kudus are incredibly protective of their young, often moving them to new hiding spots to keep them safe from predators. Speaking of which, natural predators for kudus include lions, leopards, hyenas, and wild dogs. Young calves, unfortunately, are especially vulnerable to these threats. So, when it comes to defense mechanisms, kudus are actually pretty impressive. Their size and agility make them formidable, and they're able to jump really high fences and evade predators through quick, evasive maneuvers, especially in dense cover. When we examine the conservation status of the Greater Kudu, we find a complex and evolving situation. These magnificent antelope, with their striking spiral horns and graceful movements, are a symbol of Africa's wild beauty. However, their continued survival is far from guaranteed. There are, unfortunately, several serious threats that have emerged over the years, each posing unique challenges to the species' future. Understanding these threats is crucial if we hope to protect the Greater Kudu for generations to come. One of the most significant dangers facing the Greater Kudu is habitat loss. As human populations expand, vast areas of the African savanna and woodland are being converted into farmland and settlements. This agricultural expansion fragments the kudu's natural habitat, making it harder for them to find food, water, and safe places to raise their young. Deforestation, too, strips away the dense cover that kudus rely on for protection from predators. Alongside habitat loss, hunting and poaching remain persistent threats. In some regions, kudus are hunted for their meat, hides, and impressive horns, which are highly prized as trophies or for traditional uses. Illegal poaching, often driven by poverty and lack of enforcement, can have a devastating impact on local populations, pushing them closer to decline. Human-wildlife conflict is another growing concern. As people and kudus increasingly share the same landscapes, competition for resources intensifies. Kudus may wander into farmland in search of food, leading to crop damage and frustration among local farmers. In retaliation, some communities may set traps or fences, or even resort to lethal measures to protect their livelihoods. These conflicts not only threaten individual animals, but can also undermine broader conservation efforts, making it even tougher for these antelope to thrive in the wild. Thankfully, there is hope. Across Africa, a network of national parks and wildlife reserves has been established to safeguard the habitats and populations of the Greater Kudu. These protected areas offer a refuge from many of the dangers found outside their borders. Park rangers and conservationists work tirelessly to monitor kudu numbers, prevent poaching, and restore degraded habitats. Community-based conservation programs are also gaining ground, involving local people in the stewardship of wildlife and providing incentives to protect rather than exploit these remarkable animals. In some regions, carefully regulated and sustainable hunting practices are implemented as part of broader wildlife management strategies. When managed responsibly, these programs can actually help maintain healthy kudu populations by preventing overgrazing and generating much-needed revenue for conservation efforts. Conservation officers may tag and monitor individual animals to track their movements and ensure that populations remain stable. Ultimately, the future of the Greater Kudu depends on a delicate balance between human needs and wildlife protection, and on our collective commitment to preserving Africa's natural heritage. The Greater Kudu holds a special place in cultural traditions and artistic expressions. They're often featured in local folklore and art, symbolizing, grace and beauty. At the same time, they're considered prized game animals in hunting culture, which adds another layer to their significance. So the Greater Kudu is truly an iconic species that plays a crucial role in its ecosystem. Conservation efforts, along with habitat protection and sustainable practices, are absolutely vital to ensuring the survival of this magnificent antelope for future generations. Education and awareness programs can really help local communities understand the importance of maintaining biodiversity and protecting wildlife. If you'd like to dive deeper, you might want to check out wildlife documentaries, academic articles, or conservation organization reports that specifically focus on the Greater Kudu and its habitat.